Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So we are now a couple of weeks, I don't exactly know how many weeks, like I don't know, it seems like 3, 4, 5, something like that weeks removed from the whole Cloud9 LS situation, the firing, the letting go, whatever. We still don't know entirely what happened behind the scenes, what the exact event that caused the firing of LS or whatever, but at that time we did have all the doom and gloomers coming out, all the LS fans, and even not the LS fans, but just, a lot of people around the LCS saying, okay, Cloud9 is screwed. Cloud9 is done. No way they're going to Worlds. No way they're going to compete for an LCS title. LS had them playing a fun, creative, interesting style. He had them stealing wins away from good teams. He had them playing above their level, yada, yada, yada. And now that we are, like I said, a couple weeks removed from that, I think it's a good time to kind of look back and kind of review and think about what has happened over the past few weeks. And then we also have some statements, some thoughts from one of C9's best players this season, if not their best player right now at the moment. C9 Summit maybe dropping some spicy takes as well. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. We have tons of awesome videos coming your guys' way very, very soon. All kinds of rumors, speculation, all the stuff that I'm already starting to hear behind the scenes. People are talking, and there's going to be videos coming your way, and there's going to be some big moves in between spring and summer split as well. So, let's get into this. What we are talking about today, like I said, is Cloud9 LS. What I want to talk about first is a lot about Summit stuff. There is this interview. This was like 9 days ago at the time that I'm recording this. This is actually before they had this 2-0 week that they're coming off of. I can't even remember who they played. I know they beat Team Liquid. I can't remember who their other game was. They beat Immortals and Team Liquid. Obviously, the Team Liquid win was a very, very big win. Immortals, hopefully more of a formality type victory there. But this was before that week. So this is even before they took down Team Liquid in that very, very big game. Cloud9 continues to improve following departure of LS. And yes, this is something that, people are really, really talking about. And I think it's kind of interesting because, again, if we look at the LS era for Cloud9, yes, Cloud9 went 3-1. And maybe that was surprising for some people. Maybe that was better than most people expected because, Cloud9 didn't get to play their full roster in the lock-in tournament. They were a lot of moving pieces. There was a lot of unknowns. There was a lot of risk in what Cloud9 did this offseason in a lot of ways. But when you look, their early season schedule was relatively easy. They played Immortals. They played Golden Guardians. Let's look at where those teams are at right now. Immortals is 4-9. Golden Guardians is 5-8. They played two of the weakest teams in the league. And then everyone was talking crazy about how this Evil Geniuses win was such a big win because Evil Geniuses, was in the finals of the lock-in tournament. But again, Evil Geniuses was 6-7. So their 3 wins with LS were Immortals, Golden Guardians, and EG, and then they lost to Liquid. The only team in the top 5 that they played against, they lost to. So overall, now that we're looking back on this LS time period, these wins were not that impressive. Now, were they interesting? Were they a different style? Yeah, sure, but they were not all that impressive, at least by the strength of the team. Now, you could make an argument that Evil Geniuses was stronger earlier on in the season. Again, this was coming fresh off their lock-in finals appearance, but they actually started the season really, really slow. They weren't that strong at the beginning of the regular season, and then Golden Guardians and Immortals have kind of been those teams for the whole year. And then you have the fact that, hey, we're now realizing that this Cloud9 lineup and this Cloud9 roster is actually pretty damn good. Summit is looking like probably the MVP of the LCS. Berserker is looking like the best AD carry in the LCS. And honestly, Summit and Berserker, maybe this is a hot take, I think they are both looking like world-class potential players. I mean, having 2 world-class potential players on your team in the LCS, that's playing the LCS on easy mode. There's not many teams with 2 world-class players on their team. I would say it is probably Team Liquid, and it is probably Cloud9, and that's it. So you're already looking at a top 2 team there. Then you have Blabber, who's also Spring Split Blabber. He's looking like a beast. Winsome has been very good. Mid Fudge, I'm still a little skeptical about. I think he's going to keep ramping up. I think he's been okay. I'm not going to say he's been good, but he's been good some games. But overall, this team is a very, very good LCS roster. So LS had a very strong team. Yeah, he did some interesting creative drive stuff. Yes, they were able to win, but he took a good team and he won a couple of games with them against some bad teams. I don't know. Looking back, I don't think this beginning of the Cloud9 LS era is aging as well as a lot of LS fans or maybe even LS would have liked. But then, getting into this interview, again, this is where some of the spicy stuff is. They do have some quotes from Summit here, which I think is actually pretty interesting. Fudge, a lot of different stuff here. Fudge is saying, it's nice to play the champions we actually scrimmed for once. That is pretty funny, obviously. And, that is, again, maybe not roasting LS or like I think it is kind of taking a little bit of a dig at him and his coaching style at the very least. It doesn't mean he like hates him personally or anything like that, but we've heard players saying this a lot. We've heard Blabber saying some stuff like this. We've heard Max Waldo saying some stuff like this. We've heard Fudge, saying, hey, it's nice to play what we're scrimming. Players like that. Berserker, I know in the past had said, man, it was super crazy and super difficult to have to practice all these different champions and all these different strategies, and it was hard to keep up with, and it made him uncomfortable. What we get here is a quote from Summit as well, saying, our team got to play a composition we wanted to play, and because we were able to play what we wanted, I think it gave us all confidence, said Summit regarding Cloud9's 3-0 Super Week, which was punctuated by his own Player of the Week award. Summit has now gotten 2 Player of the Week awards as well. It seems like he has MVP wrapped up, but again, in so many different ways, it seems like LS, his coaching style, his philosophy was rubbing players the wrong way. It seems like it was going to be unsustainable, and I know people are going to argue like, hey, even if it's unsustainable, even if it's rubbing you the wrong way, you should do what's best for your team. You should do what's best for winning. If it's working, then put up with it. Then maybe shut up, stop crying, stop bitching, whatever. But, again, Cloud9 was 3-1 with LS. Right now, Cloud9 is sitting at 11-2. That means they're 8-1 without LS, and one of those losses was to CLG, like the day that LS got fired, which I can't even imagine the amount of chaos and stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And since then, C9 has rattled off 8 wins in a row, including wins against a win against Team Liquid, obviously, and a win against 100 Thieves. Like I said, I don't think this whole situation is aging as well for LS and his fans as maybe they would have liked. But also, again, you have a lot of great players, world-class players potentially, like Summit and Berserker, saying that, yeah, they didn't love the style. They weren't super comfortable, and now they're playing with confidence. They're able to play and do what they want. And I think one of the more interesting things here with Summit is that, hey, some of his best champions, Gnar and Jace, these are not champions that LS is all that fond of, but they're champions that Summit really, really likes, and they're also champions that he has been absolutely popping off on. So again, they had 4 games with LS, and obviously in one of these games, I think it was his first game, yeah, Summit did play Gnar. He went 2-2. They were able to win this game. In the other games, I can't even remember what he played. He played a Camille game, he played a Malphite game, and he played an Aatrox game. So in those first 4 games, 25% of the time, he was playing, one of his 2 main champions, and then obviously they've had 9 games since then, and I think he has 5 total games of Jason Gnar, and in all those games, he's pretty much looked really, really good on Jason Gnar, and I know in Champions Queue, his Jace and his Gnar are getting banned all the time, because he's just an absolute beast on them. He's just an absolute monster, and these are champions that, again, LS, it's not like he thinks they're totally unpickable or unplayable or anything. Like, he picked a Gnar game. He gave a Gnar game to Summit, but, they just don't see eye to eye. They just don't agree on a lot of things. They don't agree on the practice schedule, how to play, how to draft, all this stuff. And again, LS will argue, well, hey, we need to do this stuff if we want to be competitive against the better teams in the world, like the Korean and the Chinese teams and all this stuff. But then you have guys like Summit and Berserker saying, hey, we know we're just as good as those guys. We know we can go toe-to-toe with them. And if, we keep building up our team and ramping up our team, maybe we'll be able to beat some of those teams. Who knows? Like I said, all I know is Cloud9 has been looking amazing lately. Summit has been looking like a beast. Berserker has been looking like a beast. I do think LS deserves a ton of credit for, giving coaching a shot, for pulling out this interesting creative drafts. And the biggest credit he gives is, for being kind of a general manager for this roster. I don't think it was like all thanks to him, but he did a lot of great scouting and putting the roster together and helping Cloud9 find all these pieces and get this whole thing together and working. And this team is great. They are amazing. They are fun to watch. They are exciting. They are very, very high level, high caliber players. But again, we're just getting more and more quotes from the players out slowly that, hey, his whole coaching style, his whole philosophy, maybe it wasn't exactly the best thing in the world. And you don't exactly want to be pissing off, some of your two best players, or hey, you might just find yourself getting fired 2 weeks into the season. But I do think that this whole story is really interesting, really funny, and I'm so curious to see how Cloud9 is going to do the rest of the season. Maybe they make it to MSI, maybe they make it to Worlds. Hey, if they look great in the LCS and they get stomped at Worlds, then yeah, it's possible. Maybe LS was right. Maybe they did need to be working on more stuff. But again, I'm not going to draw too much off wins against Golden Guardians and Immortals. I'm going to need some more evidence against actual top teams in the world at MSI or at Worlds or whatever. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think that the players are right? Do you think LS is right? Do you think that it's actually somewhere in the middle and they both should have been compromising? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.